So here's another idea on a business card and how you can use these textures that I just got and I'm going to upload in my courses. I'm going to select all, Command A, Command C to copy or edit, select all, edit, copy, and I'm going to go to my business card. Now say I want to make it horizontal and change it from horizontal to vertical. I can go to Image, Image Rotation, and rotate it. And I'm going to do that because I want to make mine horizontal. So I'm going to paste my business card, or I'm going to paste my texture. It's very large, so I'm going to try to transform it. So I'm Command T, and I'm going to try 50% and 50%, and C. Now remember, if you do not like the color of the pattern, you can also manipulate the color like we did in class. And I'm going to try to make it line up symmetrically, and I'm going to hit the return key. Now I'm going to call it pattern, so I know it's my pattern layer. And I'm going to make a new layer above it, and I'm going to fill it with a solid color so I can have something to put text on and make it look kind of neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a color from the artwork and maybe find one that's a little bit different. So I'm going to get my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to pull one from here, and then I'm going to double click on this. And then if you move the slider bar up and down, these are colors that would probably go decently with it because it's in that same range or value as that current color. So I'm going to find one that I like, that I think goes fairly well together. I'll try this purple one and say okay. Now I'm going to use my marquee tool, M for marquee, or go get it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this little area down here, and I'm going to use G to get my gradient tool, click and hold, and then get my paint bucket. Then I'm going to fill it with a color, and then Command D to deselect. Now I can use my line tool if I want to separate these two and make it look purposeful. So it's behind your shape tool, and I'm going to go get the line tool like we did in the puppy dog tutorial business card. Right now it says the color would be this color, but I think it might be nice to maybe use this color to tie it back to the top. So I'm going to go get my line tool, and I'm going to 5 inches. Wait, that seems pretty heavy. Let's try 2. This is probably going to be pretty huge. It should be points, not inches. Yeah, see, that's huge and ugly. So I'm going to undo that. Or I'm just going to delete it with the delete key. Oop, okay. So I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to do not 2 inches, but let's say 1 pt. And I'm going to say no style. I don't need a style. I just want the color. So I'm going to line up my bullseye, hold the shift key and pull across and add my line. Now if that's not quite as big as I want it, I can either redraw it or hit Command T, and I should be able to transform it. So Command T, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and then it's a little too big. And then I'm going to hit the return key. You could also just use the marquee tool. I kind of like the marquee tool better than I like this tool. So I'm going to turn the visibility off. I'm actually going to delete it. Well, it's not too bad. But I'm going to delete it and show you how you can do it with the marquee tool as well. Looks like my computer is lagging because I deleted that, so that should be off of that layer. So I'm going to make a new layer. Yeah, I'm turning the visibility off and it's not even changing. My computer is struggling because it's uploading to the internet and exporting, so it's doing a lot of things at once. So I'm going to call this my line, and hopefully my computer catches up soon. And I'm going to use my marquee tool. There it goes. And then I'm going to use my marquee tool and draw a line. I honestly like this tool a lot better than the line tool. Now, it shouldn't have disappeared, but again, my computer is struggling. So what you can do is use the marquee tool, draw a shape, and then I can fill it, but my computer is struggling. So now I'm going to get my paint bucket. This should not happen. My computer is struggling. So what you would do if I were you is I would draw a line here, considering to tie the two places together and fill it with a color. Let's see how the internet is doing, because that is probably what is slowing me down. So 2 minutes and it probably should be better. So I will just wait and continue this tutorial then. I've actually edited out some of the waiting time, but it is not functioning properly. You should not have the marquee tool disappear and not do what you asked it to do. So I think my computer is going to explode. My computer's had definitely issues, so I'm not being able to show you exactly what I wanted to do, which is very frustrating. So it looks like this might be my last tutorial at home, unfortunately. Alright, so that line is way bigger than what I want, and it should not take that long to do it, to move it. So I'm going to move it, and then I'm going to transform it and make it a little bit thinner because that's too big and bulky and not clean and classy, and hit the return key. And now I'm going to save it because my computer is being ridiculous. And it should not take that long to save. So that's great. So I would then label this line. I would label this bottom color for me. You don't have to, but I think it'd be nice for me to keep things organized. Alright, then what we're going to do is I can apply a drop shadow to this if I wanted to on the line. I'm going to say drop shadow. Makes it kind of pop. If the drop shadow is too dark, you can click on the word drop shadow like we did in the others. You can change the blend mode here if you want to. Screen lightens, but I'm going to just leave it on normal. And instead of changing it, you can also change the color here. So if I wanted to, I could change the color to the blue if I wanted to. But I'm going to actually leave it on the black. But I'm just going to adjust the opacity so it's not so dark. Maybe 45. So it's not so apparent, and say OK. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy the line bar, because normally I would just draw a regular marquee tool. But as you can see, my computer is not allowing me to do that because it's having problems with its memory. So what you might want to do is actually draw the marquee tool. I'll try it again, but I highly doubt it's going to work because it should not disappear. So I can draw like a horizontal bar here and fill it. See, I shouldn't have to go back. This should never ever happen. I went back before the marquee tool was drawn, and you can see that I did that in my history, yet I see the marquee tool. That should never ever ever happen. So it sounds like my computer's going to shut down and not work anymore. So I'm just going to Command J the line layer, and I just hit Command J and nothing's happening. So this is a very, very bad sign. But you can kind of see where I was going to go with it with the tutorial, is add a horizontal bar here maybe, and then put my name in the front, like maybe my first and last name and the title or my name of my business, and maybe do like an inner little border inside it to make it kind of cool. And that's a cool way that you could do your text. But unfortunately my computer has had issues with its graphics card, and it looks like my graphics card is kaput. So I'm sorry I can't show you everything I wanted to do, but what I would do is I would make a new layer. I would draw a horizontal line or bar here, center it actually, and then fill it with a color, probably the same color as the bar that I just drew, so it's a little bit easier. So I'll try one more time, Command J, and as you can see, nothing is happening. So that's not good. Sorry, I can't finish the tutorial. My computer's being stupid.